Brothers, when she embraces you, what happens next is entirely within your control. The weak man reacts, the strong man decides. When she hugs you, the moment is brief, yet it holds weight. The weak man reacts impulsively. His mind races with thoughts, expectations, desires. He clings to the feeling, hoping to prolong it, to turn it into something more. But the man who has mastered himself does not fall into this trap. He remains composed, indifferent to the fleeting emotions that try to take hold of him. This is control, not of her, not of the external world, but of oneself. A man without control over his reaction is like a ship without a rudder, tossed by every wave, moved by every current. When she hugs him, he overanalyzes, he reads into it, he hopes, he assumes. He becomes lost in possibilities that do not yet exist, and in doing so, he weakens himself. He allows a simple embrace to take power over him, to dictate his emotions, to shape his thoughts. This is a man who does not own himself. This is a man who is owned by his impulses. The wise man, the disciplined man, does not react in this way. When she hugs him, he remains steady, unshaken, grounded in his own strength. He does not assign unnecessary meaning to the action. He does not let it dictate his mood or his direction. Instead, he acknowledges it for what it is, just a moment, a gesture, nothing more unless proven otherwise. This ability to separate himself from the illusion of significance is what gives him control. Control is not coldness. It is not about rejecting emotion or denying experience. It is about mastering one's response. The disciplined man is fully present in the embrace, but he does not let it define him. He does not allow himself to be carried away by fantasy or desire. He feels, but he is not ruled by feeling. He understands that the moment will pass, that emotions rise and fall, and that true strength lies in remaining steady regardless of what comes and goes. This composure does not go unnoticed. She will feel it. She will sense that he is different. He does not grip onto her out of desperation. He does not hold on too long or too tightly, afraid to let go. Instead, he remains firm in himself, at peace with whatever happens next. And this, paradoxically, makes him even more powerful in her eyes. In a world where most men react, a man who remains calm, who does not chase, who does not seek validation, stands apart. The ability to control one's reaction extends beyond this moment. It is a principle that governs all aspects of life. The world will test you. People will come and go. Opportunities will rise and fade. The undisciplined man rides the highs and lows, constantly at the mercy of what happens around him. But the disciplined man remains constant. He does not let external events shake his inner world. He is the master of himself, and because of that, nothing can truly master him. When she hugs you, let it be a moment, not a chain that binds you. Feel it, but do not let it consume you. Control your reaction, and you will control far more than just this embrace. You will control yourself, and that is the foundation of true power. When she hugs you, be there. Feel the warmth of her embrace, the way her arms wrap around you, the quiet moment shared between two people. But do not let yourself be swept away by it. Do not mistake the sensation for something greater than what it is. A moment is just a moment, no more, no less. The weak man, the undisciplined man, loses himself in it. He assigns meaning where there is none, believing that a single embrace holds promises, commitments, or unspoken confessions. But the wise man knows better. He is present, fully experiencing the moment, yet detached from any illusions it may create. To be present but detached is to engage fully with life, while understanding that nothing is permanent. It means allowing yourself to feel, but never to be controlled by feeling. When she hugs you, it is easy to let the mind drift, to wonder what it means, to hope for more, to get lost in desire. But all of this is a trap. The moment you allow yourself to be pulled into fantasies of what could be, you are no longer in control. You have surrendered your power to something outside yourself. This is weakness, and weakness leads to suffering. A man who is truly in command of himself does not let an embrace or any single moment dictate his emotional state. He does not grasp or cling. He stands firm in his own sense of self. He is there, completely aware of the present, but he does not attach himself to it. He understands that the moment will pass, just as all things do. This understanding frees him. He does not fear losing what is not his to keep, and because of this he remains steady where others waver. There is an undeniable strength in a man who can enjoy a moment without being consumed by it. A man who does not need to analyze, who does not seek meaning where there is none, who does not allow himself to be controlled by fleeting emotions. This is a man who stands apart. Women sense this. There is something rare, something almost unsettling about a man who does not immediately react, who does not scramble to define an experience, who does not place expectations on something so simple as a hug. This kind of man is difficult to control, and what cannot be controlled draws curiosity, intrigue, and respect. Most men, when held, fall apart in some way. Some become needy, wanting more. Some become overconfident, mistaking a moment of affection for something greater. Some lose themselves completely, their emotions overtaking them, clouding their judgment. But the man who remains present yet detached does not fall into these traps. He allows the moment to exist as it is. He does not fear its ending because he was never holding on to it in the first place. This approach extends far beyond a simple embrace. It applies to life itself. Too many people live in a state of attachment, clinging to relationships, experiences, desires, outcome. They chase after things, believing that happiness lies in holding on to them. But happiness, true contentment, comes from the opposite. It comes from engaging with life fully while remaining free from attachment. It comes from knowing that everything is temporary and being at peace with that truth. So, when she hugs you, do not overthink it. Do not let your mind race with questions. Do not let your emotions dictate your actions. Stand firm in yourself. Appreciate the moment, but do not chase after it. Let it come, let it go, and remain the same man regardless. That is power, that is discipline, and that is the kind of strength that cannot be shaken. When she hugs you, what do you truly see? Most men are blind to reality, swept away by emotions, fantasies, or desires. They take a simple action, a touch, a gesture, an embrace, and assign it meanings that exist only in their minds. They assume it is affection, attraction, or even love. They believe it holds some deeper significance, something they must decipher and respond to. But this is where they fail. A man who sees only the surface will always be deceived. To see beyond the surface is to understand that a hug in itself is neither a promise nor a confession. It is an action, nothing more. It may carry warmth, or it may be empty. It may come from genuine affection, or it may be given out of habit, politeness, or social expectation. The moment you start assuming, the moment you let your emotions dictate your perception, you have already lost control. The wise man does not make this mistake. He observes without assumption. He acknowledges what is, rather than what he wishes it to be. Most men do not truly see. They are trapped by their own minds, by their own desires. When she hugs them, they feel wanted, needed, special. They tell themselves stories, that she must feel something deep for them, that this embrace must mean she cares in a way she has never cared for another. And so they act based on this illusion. They open themselves up, expose their vulnerabilities, and give away their power. They make decisions based on a reality that does not exist. And when the truth finally reveals itself, that the hug was nothing more than a passing moment, they are left confused, hurt, betrayed by their own minds. The man who masters himself does not fall into this trap. He understands that human behavior is complex, that gestures are not always what they seem. He knows that people act for many reasons, and those reasons are not always clear. A hug could be a sign of affection, or it could be a test. It could be an expression of comfort, or it could be given with no thought at all. He does not rush to conclusions, nor does he allow himself to be guided by hope or desire. Instead, he waits, he watches, he understands. Seeing beyond the surface means recognizing that reality is not shaped by emotions but by actions and patterns. A single hug means nothing unless it is part of something greater. A woman's interest, her true feelings, are not shown in a single moment, but in consistent effort, in repeated behavior over time. The weak man clings to small gestures, building castles in his mind out of grains of sand. The strong man looks at the whole picture, never letting one moment distort his perception. This ability to see clearly extends beyond personal relationship. It is a skill that applies to everything in life. The world is filled with illusions, with false promises, with appearances that hide deeper truths. The man who takes everything at face value is easily deceived, easily controlled. But the man who trains himself to observe, to think critically, to question before he believes, this man cannot be misled. He does not react to every situation with blind emotion. He does not allow others to manipulate his perception. He moves through the world with clarity, never lost in falsehoods. So when she hugs you, do not be quick to assume. Do not let your mind trick you into seeing something that is not there. Look deeper. Understand that a single moment does not define anything. Be patient, be observant, and let reality reveal itself to you over time. Those who see clearly are those who remain in control. And control is the foundation of power. Desire is a force that, if left unchecked, can consume a man. It clouds his mind, weakens his will, and makes him a servant to his impulses. When she hugs you, there is a natural temptation to give in to emotion, to indulge in the warmth of the moment, to hope for more. But the disciplined man does not allow himself to be ruled by such feelings. He does not mistake passing pleasure for something greater, nor does he let his longing control his act. He masters his desires rather than letting them master him. Most men are slaves to what they want. When they feel something good, they chase after it. When a woman shows them even the smallest amount of affection, they become lost in it. They hunger for more, and in their hunger, they make mistakes. They become too eager, too available, too emotionally invested in something that has not yet proven itself worthy of their energy, and in doing so they lose their power. They reveal their need, and in revealing their need they make themselves easy to control. A man who is ruled by desire is not a man who leads his own life. He is a man who follows, who waits, who hopes, who reacts rather than acts. He is a man who, when embraced, becomes overwhelmed by longing. He imagines possibilities, he fantasizes about what could be, he loses himself in what he wants rather than seeing what is real. And because of this, he fails to make clear, rational decisions. He gives away his strength without even realizing it. The disciplined man approaches desire differently. He understands that feeling something does not mean he must act on it. He knows that longing for something does not mean he should pursue it blindly. Instead, he maintains control over himself, over his emotions, over his impulses. When she hugs him, he does not grip onto her too tightly. He does not crave more than what is given. He remains still, steady, in command of himself. He allows himself to feel the warmth, but he does not burn in it. To master desire is not to reject it. It is to understand it, to place it in its proper place. A man who has conquered himself does not deny attraction, affection, or pleasure, but he does not need them, and that is what makes him powerful. He does not act out of desperation. He does not let the feeling of the moment dictate his future. He is not afraid of losing what he never possessed in the first place, and because of this he remains strong where others falter. Women sense when a man is controlled by his desires. They feel when he is too eager, when he wants something too much, and this makes him less valuable in their eyes. A man who is desperate to hold on to a moment is a man who lacks control, but a man who is present yet unmoved, who can experience something without becoming attached, this is a man who holds true power. He is rare, he is different, and because of that, he becomes even more desirable. This mastery of desire extends far beyond a simple hug. It is a principle that applies to all areas of life. The man who cannot control his cravings, whether for affection, success, status, or pleasure, is a man who will always be at the mercy of external forces. But the man who can look at what he wants and choose, with discipline and clarity, whether to pursue it or let it pass, that is the man who is truly free. So when she hugs you, feel it, but do not need it. Let the moment exist, but do not chase it. Desire will always whisper in your ear, urging you to hold on, to seek more, to act out of emotion rather than reason. But the man who can stand firm in the face of his desires, who can acknowledge them without being ruled by them, is the man who walks through the world untouchable. And that is the kind of man who is always in control. When she hugs you, you stand at a crossroads. You can react instinctively, surrendering to emotion, allowing the moment to dictate your actions. Or you can act with purpose, deciding how you will respond, shaping the moment rather than being shaped by it. Most men fall into the first category. They are pulled by impulse, by excitement, by the need for validation. They let the embrace dictate their next move, hoping for more, grasping at something they do not yet understand. But the man who leads his life with intention does not operate this way. He chooses his actions deliberately. He does not respond out of habit or need. He moves with purpose. And because of this, he controls not just himself, but the entire interaction. Acting with purpose means understanding why you do what you do. It means never being driven by fleeting emotions or unchecked desire. When she embraces you, it is easy to react instinctively, to hold on too long, to seek meaning where there may be none, to act out of hope rather than certainty. But the man who has trained himself to act with intention does not fall into this trap. He understands that every action carries weight, that every choice he makes sends a message. And so, instead of reacting without thought, he asks himself, what do I want this moment to be? What is my intention here? There is power in restraint. When she hugs you, you do not need to grip tightly, to overplay your emotions, to seek something from the moment. Instead, you remain steady, composed, controlled. You return the embrace just enough, not too much, not too little. You do not lean in with need. You stand firm in your own presence. You allow her to feel your strength, not in force, but in your lack of desperation. She must sense that while you are here, you do not need to be, that while you enjoy the moment, you are not defined by it. Most men allow their interactions to be ruled by chance. They move through the world reacting rather than acting. When a woman shows them attention, they respond without thought, guided only by emotion. They lean in too quickly, they seek validation, they overplay their hand, and in doing so, they surrender control of the situation. The man who acts with purpose, however, never finds himself in this position. He dictates the pace. He sets the tone. He does not let external events dictate his response. He chooses how to respond based on what aligns with his principles, his goals, and his understanding of the situation. This ability to act with purpose is not limited to a single embrace. It is a way of life. In every interaction, in every decision, you must ask yourself, am I reacting or am I acting? The world is full of men who drift through life, blown in every direction by their emotions, their desires, their fears. They let circumstances shape them rather than shaping circumstances themselves. They wait for things to happen rather than making things happen. And in doing so, they remain powerless, forever at the mercy of forces outside their control. But the man who acts with purpose walks a different path. He is deliberate in all things. He does not pursue something blindly, whether it be a woman, a goal, or a dream. He moves with intention, with patience, with discipline. He does not chase, he creates. He does not react, he decides. And because of this, he remains in control of himself and his life. So when she hugs you, do not simply react. Do not let the moment define you. Instead, stand firm in yourself. Know why you do what you do. Move with purpose. Every man experiences moments that test his discipline, his clarity, his control. But the man who has trained himself to act with intention never wavers. And in this, he finds his true strength. When she hugs you, Understand that nothing outside of you has power over your mind unless you allow it. The weak man gives away control. He lets external events, emotions, and other people dictate how he feels, how he acts, and how he sees himself. He is ruled by the world instead of ruling himself. But the man who has mastered himself understands a fundamental truth. The external world does not determine his inner state. His thoughts, his emotions, and his reactions are his own. They belong to no one else. The moment she embraces you, you may feel warmth, connection, or excitement. That is natural. But what matters is what happens next. Do you let those feelings consume you? Do you start creating meanings in your mind, imagining what this moment might lead to? Do you become attached to a fleeting sensation? Most men do. They let the moment dictate their emotions. If the hug lingers, they feel wanted, desired. If it ends too soon, they feel rejected, uncertain. Their sense of self shifts based on something as simple as another person's touch. But the man who owns his inner world is different. He does not waver. Whether the hug is brief or extended, whether it is given with passion or indifference, he remains the same. Because he knows the world outside does not control him. True power comes from within. The man who masters his inner world is untouchable. He does not seek validation from others, nor does he allow small gestures to affect his self-worth. He does not let a hug, a word, or an action change his emotional state. Instead, he remains firm, unmoved, and steady. This is not because he is cold or uncaring, but because he understands that his emotions are his responsibility alone. He does not give that responsibility to anyone else. Most men live in a constant state of reaction. They let circumstances dictate their moods. If things go their way, they are happy. If things do not, they are upset. They live like leaves in the wind, blown in every direction by forces outside of their control. But the man who owns his inner world is different. He is the wind, not the leaf. He is the force that moves, not the one that is moved. He decides how he feels, how he responds, how he experiences life. And because of this, he is truly free. This kind of mastery is rare. Most people will never achieve it. They will always be searching for something outside of themselves to give them a sense of peace, happiness, or validation. They will always look to others for approval. They will always be controlled by what happens around them. But the man who chooses to own his inner world refuses to live this way. He builds his own foundation, one that cannot be shaken by the temporary nature of the external world. When she hugs you, it is a test. Not a test she consciously creates, but a test of who you are. Will you allow a simple embrace to dictate your emotions? Will you let it control your thoughts? Or will you remain grounded, unshaken, in full command of yourself? A man who has truly mastered himself does not need reassurance from others. He does not seek meaning in fleeting gestures. He does not rely on anyone else to validate his worth. He is whole within himself, and because of that, he is powerful beyond measure. This principle extends far beyond a single hug. It applies to every aspect of life. If you do not control your inner world, the external world will control you. You will always be chasing, always reacting, always searching for something outside of yourself to make you feel complete. But if you take ownership of your mind, of your emotions, of your responses, then nothing can shake you. No rejection, no loss, no moment of uncertainty can break you. You will stand firm while the rest of the world wavers. So when she hugs you, let it be what it is, nothing more, nothing less. Do not overthink it. Do not let it change your state. Feel it, but do not be moved by it. Own your inner world, and you will own your life. In that strength, you will find true freedom. And in that